Okay, question more about YouTube and how I've seen for myself vloggers. Well, like I said before, YouTube is not my name, but that particular platform is for my exploring, which allows people to add different videos. I did not really call it vlogging. That's someone's name. Because I started from scratch. For me it was like how I put. So imagine completely nothing. Because my system is external. And I decided to make my build up. For me to make my build up, it means I need to have my software or packages. I call them sometimes packages. So what kind of packages? So one of them was like video, or some call video sharing. That video sharing is actually, it's my video sharing. For my external system I have video sharing. So I came to that particular design, like when you type, when you open for instance, and when you type, it will give you certain videos. So, and then I came to, everybody should have name. So I came to name, and then I came to click on name. It gives you a list of pages of his or her videos. And then I came to, like, if you follow, it will be on the list that you follow. I came to a player, because at that time no player, at that time no exploring at all. In 92, like I said, there is no connection in the house for anything. So I came to that network. First of all, I came to network, that my search engine and external network, and then package. So this package, so I have a player, and when you click on video, particular video, so I have on the right side, when I have player, my player's page on the right side. So I came to, on the right side, videos, here's player. If I want to click, player would be extended. So how people, to me people shoot video, any video by interest, particular interest. At that time, that package was for people, for just normal regular people. It's not for professional. For professional video cinema, I had what is called today Netflix. So for people, I had that kind. So they shoot video, and it gives them option download video. That's what you see today. They have option download video. So you download video, and when you download video, it will show up in your place. It's your videos. Like I said before, I came to idea of clicking on that particular username or name, and then it gives the space or pages where you have videos. So when he or she download new video, it will show up there. Now as soon as it will show up there, when people search, it will be available for search in search. Like when people search, it will be there. So suppose I search for, right now I see airplane. Suppose Boeing 757. So, or 777, you type and say landing. So suppose some people talk about landing of airplane. So as soon as you download, beside downloading, you have available for search. So you search by Boeing 77. So I came to that additional, like a subject. That's what you see when you download video. You download and it will tell you a subject, right? Because you need to have subject in order to search. If you just download, it will not work. You need to search by particular subject, right? Or what it's about. So I came to that, and to me, people can talk any way they talk, either outside or inside. It doesn't matter with video camera, because you have video camera. To me, at that time, because most video cameras were kind of analog, to me it should be converted from that format to a digital one. And then I came to this, people reply. So I came to those replies. I have replies. Hold on. So I came to replies. What else? I came to downloading this, that. It's kind of like your place or your inventory. And then I came to, well, sometimes like subject like history or books or whatever. I had that additional, like you see on top they have the small ones. Then new, certain category, new videos or latest videos. I had latest. To me, honestly, vlogger at that time, I didn't call them vlogger, but to me, just regular people. They're not cinema people. Like I said, for cinema, I had cinema, like like Netflix today. That's for cinema, for professional. For people, I had like that. And then because you have camera, you just do and talk whatever people talk, people's videos. Either you talk about garden, like you grow something, you talk about garden, or you talk about cars, or whatever your interest. Because originally the whole exploring was for people after work. For a small fee, they have access to that. That's what you see. Those providers, that's my custom network, which is used illegally, including the whole exploring, including those like YouTube. They had wrong papers, wrong legal papers. Because if it's my intellectual property, I do the papers, not ex-wife, not anybody else. So now, when you have those like different people, you need to have a lot of storage, because videos take a lot of storage. Now, my videos, because I was one guy, I did not separate. Like you see YouTube and then they sold to Google or whatever. That was, for me, I was my one exploring. I did not sell anything to myself or to others. For me at that time it was a big project that I came to, and different software decisions excuse me, before the program. Because in order to program you need to have different, like software engineering, the books you need to decide what to program. So I give up the idea of programming. I had a computer and I had like computer books. I could program. I tried program, but I came to conclusion if I talk about the whole exploring, there is no reason for me to run computer because you need to sit long time and think what to program before the program. I mean, what to have. You need to have something like what they call intellectual property or certain ideas or certain decisions or certain things. Like in case of video package, it was not first of all exploring. I came to exploring, but then if they need video sharing, how my video sharing would be looking like. So I need to have different pages. So that's what I had. I had a page with the 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 player and the small videos, and another page I had when you submit, it will give you a list. Because if you say Boeing like 747, there are many people talk about 747. Maybe you've seen one, but they want to see another one. So you have a list with a bigger one, bigger those kind of pictures. So I came to that too. So even if you see one 747, you have another guy, another guy, another guy, another guy. So like that. Now, so I came to different pages, which is my software or package would be is the main thing. Because in order to program, like if you look at some books, there are some books just for programming, but there are some books for the software development and software engineering and all that. But to me, it's more like a software development. So first you need to decide what to program, especially if you want to trade. What they trade is actually legal. In order to trade, it should be your intellectual property. It should be your product. So if I came to different my software decisions, they're not supposed to program and trade. So what they do is, because of those illegal papers, they program and they trade. They're not supposed to trade because they cannot talk for it. The only thing they have, somebody is allowed, which is me. Never did allow. That's Olga's fake papers look like I allow. I never did allow. I was in US and they make papers overseas look like I allow, or whatever they say. So anyway, so and then I had private for like they call YouTube or like you see today private. My private actually is more like for like university or like certain videos for your family or someone where you choose because they have username. So you use those usernames. It's only for them to see. So if you have like family videos, you restrict the public to particular group, and you use their usernames. Who can see? The rest will not see. So I came to that one. Now, to me, vlogging was just based on interest, what people like. Like I today see some people go to different countries talking about this. Well, to me, actually, if I look at my 92 way, to me it means that's what they like. They like to go around the world, see new things, and talk about new things. I did not have so much focus on what other people like. Because if you don't know much about certain subject and you do what other people like or like to watch, you might like look like stupid or dummy because you do not have enough competence into something. If you do by interest is like, suppose I like gardening. If I like gardening, I know something about how to grow, flowers or trees or whatever. How to take care of trees and right temperature. Like for instance, in Ukraine, West Ukraine, some of my relatives had apple trees, a lot of apple trees. So suppose I know apple trees, so I know something about apple trees. So it's not like me, dummy. But if for instance, I don't know how to make bridge, I'm not gonna talk about how to make bridge if I have no degree or anything. So maybe people like to know about how to make bridge, but I don't have that bridge education or experience. So I'm not gonna talk about how to make a bridge. You see what I mean? So to me, vlogging was in 92 was like that, based on your interests, because people come after work, uh, and then because my system was not like AOL 91 that is stopping, mine is not stopping, and mine is working on weekends. Yeah, so on weekends they can have like a lot of videos made, and then they download. So of course editing required, but at that time for me it was important just people's videos. Now then I extended particular documentary or something, because I came to the professional one, like what is Netflix, but I assume not everybody will be accepted there, because that would be more like professional, and they have certain people screening, and they have certain equipment requirement, and they have studio tag and this and that. Suppose I'm a documentary guy, just finished school. I made like few documentaries, but they didn't go to any festival or anything. So for me, it was like what called YouTube or people's channel. That's where I would allow them to put. So then I extended to news, to watch news, particular news. But for me, news was like two kinds. One is recorded. That's what you see today, recorded news, and one is streaming. Streaming means at the same time, right now, some people are talking, some part going to TV, like they have cable. So suppose from the news station they have a cable that going to outside to many people, right? At the same time, I have my additional cable that would go straight to my people sharing. That's what you see the YouTube TV. That's my intellectual property. It's not just people sharing. It's additional TV, which is one recorded, another one streaming. Streaming means at the same time the information is going to the package, and when people click on particular news, they can see that news on my package. Or they could see on TV, but they could see on my package. The advantage of it, I thought, because I came to a special unit, which is like today they call Google Chrome or iPad. So in case if you go to like certain place like cafe or some other place, you cannot take your TV with you, but you can take that small unit and you can see particular news. If you want to see streaming news right now, you can see on your small unit, because you don't need a big TV with you. Normally they didn't sell small TVs. You could maybe buy somewhere, but I just came to the idea of my computer digital, everything, because in the computer everything works digital, unless maybe speakers or something analog. But so even if they had a cable going to TV, it could be analog at that time, 92. In my case, even if I have streaming, it should be converted to my digital computer recognizable format. So when people have everything on those units, because it's computer, it should be in digital. So my package is dealing with digital. So it's basically, even if they give analog signal, it should be conversion to digital, and then people can see it. So that's my another version, not a version, but addition. That's my additional thing to my software. That YouTube is using illegally. That's not the interaction problem. They were adding stuff to it, some kind of few things here and there, and programming, but it's not the stuff to program. It was not for them to use. And Olga doesn't want to listen. I told her I need to talk to attorney, so don't talk. She doesn't want to listen. She keep talking, and they decided to make illegal papers. They are trying to make money by illegal papers. And then the same with Google. The whole my exploring is illegal. They were using illegal papers for a lot of packages. For eBay, for Amazon, for YouTube, Netflix. The whole exploring. My exploring is from 92, before it did not exist. They decided to use illegally the whole exploring. And they have no people to talk. They're in illegal use. Unjust enrichment and illegal papers. That's what they have. So, to me, if Americans don't like to do anything, I like European courts to do. Fine everybody, and I need all my money for that. It's not gonna be for free. If Americans think they're gonna get away, they will not get away with this. This is all illegal use, illegal papers, false statements. That's lies. It's not for them to use. It's not for them to sell. It's not for them to offer to public, nothing. It was for me to use, and I told to Olga, I said, because at some point I thought, no, I need to talk to attorney, because at some point it will be attorney. I said, I need to talk to attorney. And she did everything without talking to attorney, implementing my intellectual property. That's illegal. You cannot implement my intellectual property without me talking to attorney. They implemented mine, and they want to get money for that. That's a gray market, illegal copying. That's what it is. So all those like YouTube, they're a dirty company. It's not their stuff, and they want to tell people look like they have good business. They don't have good business. They're illegals, criminals. They're felons. Basically, they're felons. Because that's copyright infringement is considered sometimes as felony. They're felons. They've made the whole exploring like felons, bunch of felons. Because it's not that. They should have attorney or me talking, but they didn't. They made up stupid papers. And they want money for that. They want to make money on illegal use, on illegal copying, on false statements. That's what the YouTube is. Netflix, the same, many others, the whole exploring like that. You know what's the most strange to me is that my package, which is YouTube, had news, be it recorded or not recorded, and then they go to like, I see ABC or CNBC or those national kind of TV stations, and they used illegal papers for that. they're in intellectual property violations. And most likely they have Olga's forgery. So she's repeating mine, but I am not there, she's signing for me. And they were implementing, but that's illegal use. You know what I mean? Basically, they are intellectual property criminals. And then they are going to those like CNBC, NBC. Who is stuck in there? My question is, who is stuck in there? Politicians. They have nothing to do with it. Trust me, they have nothing to do with it. Most likely, they are not even politicians, they are German communists. Or some other communists. Because from what I've seen, Olga was talking about my intellectual property to communists. Be it in Russia or in Germany, because she knows Russian and German. So they implemented my intellectual property, but the signature is not mine because I'm not overseas. So they implemented, that's felony. First of all, a violation of intellectual property. Second thing, forgery. And third thing would be fraud. And if she said money should go to her or to her people, it's again fraud. If signature, that's again forgery. It's basically twisting with fraud and forgery. Basically, they're felons. And they walk around those MSNBC or CNBC or whatever, because in order to make that for YouTube, at some point they should communicate if it's streaming, because in case of streaming it goes to my package, but in case of recording I guess they don't need to, but they at some point they probably could talk. So they're basically subject for arrest, and they walk around all those MSNBC, CNBC, whatever, and Americans like stupid, like dummies looking. Why don't you ask him a question? Where's your talent? Where's your initial talent? Who came to it? You see, I think it's really corruption. They pay under the table, and they don't ask questions, and they get away. I think it's really corruption. And I'm telling you, Democrats have nothing to do with YouTube. Because it's my intellectual property, it's not democratic intellectual property. They never had order. And for Republicans to understand, all of my exploring have nothing to do with Republicans or Democrats. It's my intellectual property, and they did not have order. So, order means like, suppose during like Democrats or Republicans, they have different contractors or subcontractors working for federal government. Basically, federal government is not always having own people. Sometimes they getting people from outside. I know like AC, some billions, like suppose it's a federal billion, but federal government doesn't have people for AC, in air conditioning installation. So what they do is they have contractors. They have a contract, federal contract, you need to install AC at federal building, but those people are not federal. So in my case, if I came to social network or package like YouTube, yeah, the news can be there or anything can be there, but me is not a federal guy. You see what I mean? First of all, me is not a federal guy, and I have no order from Democrats of that time or from Republicans of that time. Because during the Republicans or Democrats, they have federal government, but still somehow it's affected by that particular party, and the federal government might make some kind of own decisions what to order, who to have. So suppose there is a federal billion, maybe for Democrats they would choose one group of people for AC. For Republicans they would choose maybe another people for doing AC for federal government. They might have certain differences who they choose. So in my case, the whole my exploring is not a federal government order. They didn't ask me for anything. When I came to that exploring, my main motivation was because I've seen AOL and they had small kind of exploring, and the guy told me in New York, he was a cable guy for AOL, he told me their business is okay but not really great. So I came to my own exploring and my own network, software decisions, everything. It's not ordered by federal government. It's just my own observation. So I would be like, suppose AOL 91, they did not belong, from what I know, they did not belong to government, or it's not a government, it's just a business. That's what I had, it's just a business. So I had no order from any politician, including foreign one. So if anybody is working there, like say, German or communist or I don't know, whoever, they did not have order. I did not work for them. I was not a subcontractor for them, so I did not do anything for them. I did not have any pay from them for them to talk about my stuff. So basically they're in illegal use. Why? Because my ex-wife told about my intellectual property, but I did not do the legal papers. They made up papers and they were implementing, and then money goes somewhere else. So any politicians or any politician is walking around, he's in illegal use and he's using illegal papers. Most likely August. Number one, fraud, married. In reality, divorced. Because in 93 divorced, in time of YouTube, it would be divorced, not married. Second thing, signatures. I wasn't there, it's not my signature. She repeated my intellectual property, but it's not my signature. And the money if money don't go to talent for any normal judge or federal judge, that's already the first step. Why money don't go there? She talk about his intellectual property, but why money don't go there? If there are any writings, money should go to them. That's fraudulent paper. They are subject for arrest. They are using fraudulent paper for twisting. And most likely, if there is signature, that's a forgery for twisting. And then they walk around trying to talk to MSNBC or all those national TV stations or talk about advertising. I'm telling you, most likely with what they have, they're subject for arrest. And Americans, Washington DC, looking like stupid at all that for many years, looking like dummy. They look like Silicon Valley came to that. Silicon Valley didn't come to that. First they had particular party, I don't know, communists or no communists, telling to implement. And most likely Washington DC allowed them to talk. So they did not start in Silicon Valley that YouTube. They were talking there about that particular my software development or intellectual property, but it didn't come from Silicon Valley. It came from me, and my original place is Minneapolis, Minnesota, close to Edina. So Edina is like a smaller, upscaled town near Minneapolis, kind of southwest. So that's my original place. And if somebody is making up this, they started in, like, they started like, I don't know, Bay Area somewhere. They didn't start there. They start illegal use there because those political people who somebody approved them to be here, they talk about it, they implement it. But the signature, how about the signature? If I'm living in Orange County and the signature is coming from overseas, I'm not overseas. That's a forgery. They are working and trying to implement with forgery. And not only that, they go to Washington DC or talking to politicians to have TV stations on that package, which is they have forgery and fraud there for the youth. So I'm telling you that all that, I'm telling you, the whole explosion is like that. And then they cannot teach anything. They open that stupid YouTube theater. You cannot talk about the YouTube theater because you never came to that YouTube, the original package. You program, but it's not your stuff to program. It's like, suppose I have Mercedes, big development. So I have big development. I came to all major parts, and then somebody is using production, stamping copies. It's not for you to stamp copies. It's not your stuff to use. So what they have is fraud and forgery, right? And twisting, because money don't go to talent. So that's what you have. And no Washington DC should allow any business like that. Be it YouTube, be it Netflix, be it Amazon, be it Google, be it eBay. That's my software decisions for my external network. It's not for the wire. Don't call my stuff as wire. Wire would be like web or internet. That would be wire. I don't have wire. I have a bunch of computers with my software decisions. It's not the wire. So don't call mine as web or internet because it's not. Internet web did not have providers, custom network, wireless short or wireless long. They did not have wireless at all. Wireless would be wireless. It's not internet configuration. In the way of networking, it is either cable or wires. When they say internet, it means no wireless. So they cannot call it as internet. In terms of web, they did not have that custom configuration, so they cannot call mine as web. And my software decisions are not made by web. They cannot call as web. So they keep throwing different names on mine. That's illegal name, because legally only talent can give the name. They did not come to that particular e-commerce. It's not web, it's not internet, because it's not the intellectual property. They cannot give the name to mine. And from what I see, Olga with all her crooked people, they keep giving names to mine, but that's a legal name because only talent can give the name. So besides whatever they say, different stupid stuff in Washington DC about like Google or like all this YouTube, they give all kind of wrong names. Because if you talk to networking authority, for networking, if it's new network configuration, it's a different name. you cannot call new network configuration by old name, because it's already a name for that particular network configuration. Because in minds of attorney, that particular name for that particular network. And if there is a new network, it should be a new name, but they keep, basically they're telling to all networking attorney lies. They're telling this, but in reality it's different, it's a new one. So, and Washington DC is going with all those crooked people, but the reality is they're illegal users. They're using fraud and forgery. Because if I'm in the United States, nothing should be on paper, I'm overseas. And if I'm divorced, nothing should be on paper if I'm married. And for any big market, it should be ID, it should be attorney. If I'm in US, then I just go to local notary. You should have American notary, whatever. Expired and unexpired license. Okay, if I'm in US, if I have license which is not expired, driver license, that's what you should use. You should not use some kind of papers made up without license, without attorney that I allow. But somebody keep giving the chance all that lousy stuff to go through. I think it's a corruption. I really. So all those people, political people in Germany or anywhere that Olga was talking to, basically they go with your lies or stories, because she got divorced and it's not her intellectual property, so she made up all kind of stories, convincing stories or convincing stuff to get the money for my intellectual property. So YouTube is one of them. So I came to that, and she keep playing why for this or this in order to get the money for mine. So, but legally, money should go to Telin. But the judge first stop should be why money to go to Telin. It's already twisted, because it's twisted. If I am Telin, money should go to Telin legally, but the money don't go to Telin. They keep implementing my, because mine was before the programming. A lot of software decisions before the programming, that's called intellectual property. In 92, nobody could connect to any house. So I came to exploring custom network, and my computers, which are not sitting inside of any business. It's basically my computers, my build-up. That's what they started to implement after 92. They keep throwing different names. Farms, web didn't have farms, internet didn't have farms. So that's my build-up. Those farms, it's where people are getting stuff. That's my build-up. That's my exploring. And on top of it, I have international network custom configuration. Beside own farms, they can get from foreign farms or foreign build-up, whatever name you give to this. So if Americans don't understand it, I think Europeans should go through it. Anytime, like YouTube or Google, Amazon, all this, first of all, talent should do the papers. You need to have license or passport. You need to have an expired one. You need to have preferably attorney, his real notary, not made up some kind of stuff, some kind of stamps or whatever that they have there. So if I lived in US, for me the best place for my notary would be my bank. Normally bank would give you the best probably price or the quickest service, and because they know you have a bank account, it's just the fastest to me. My first probably choice would be American bank. And normally if I live, suppose in Orange County, that's where my bank is. I don't need to go to God knows where for some kind of strange bank. And in fact, if I live in US, many times you cannot open foreign bank, like Swiss bank. Many Swiss banks will not open any account for Americans and they do have some banks, maybe friends or this or that, but it's not that easy to open as people might think, because you don't live there, and they need to verify how good that money would be for the bank. Maybe it's stolen money or whatever. So they might need more details, credentials, whatever. Because there are many thieves who steal money and trying to deposit, but they don't want to be in finance fraud and finance, stealing kind of business. So they don't always look at you that you are depositing. They also need to know if it's good money or bad money. Normal good banks, they are not really supposed to accept bad money, because for finance it's not really a way how they work, accepting bad money. So anyway, I did not have I've tried one time to have Swiss bank account, but they told me they don't want to deal with foreigners. They want to deal with local people. So basically they don't want to deal. Even if some Swiss bank will tell you they will open account, they might tell you after 2, 3, 4 months they don't want to deal because you're foreigner, you're not local. Basically like local people, European. So they have own regulations. Now when it comes to exploring, because my exploring is international, so it's okay, they keep checking everything, because in that case I'm not really a local American guy, because my exploring is international. They have stuff going in Switzerland and this and that and other European countries. They are fooling them with bad papers, so I'm okay to help. If I have international business, I might be approved for international bank, because I have international network configuration, international commerce. For me, that would be something convincing or telling that I might need it. Because if I have international, I might need to go to different countries. So in that case, I might need a bank that would prove them that I need, if I show my international business. If they say no, I might have a French bank, because they have many banks, Spanish bank, Holland, Netherlands bank, they have many banks. Not everybody say no if you have international business. If they cannot open, I might open international business account. In that case, probably much easier. But I need to prove them. So now, if somebody is fooling them on international level, I can help, because what they have right now is basically big fooling. That's what it is.